Hello, I'm here with Michael Chrisman, CEO of Lucky Dog Adventures. Michael consults and leads executives to help them grow their business and enrich their lives. And Michael is just finishing up the Resilient Transformation Academy with some pretty amazing results. Michael, thank you for being here and sharing your journey along this path.
It's my pleasure.
I'd like to ask you, what motivated you to do this program?
Well, so like you said, I mentor leaders at a high level, and I've learned over time that um, in order to help them level up and raise their game, I don't just want to help their business, I want to help them enrich their lives at the same time. And I think to do that, we need to envision who we want to be and why before we set out to conquer the world and accomplish what we want. And I think why is really important. I think the how, who, what, when, that can all be invented along the way. So when I do that with folks, sometimes when I'm working with leadership teams in an effort to strengthen culture and solve problems, it can be like painting a train while it's moving. It's messy and it's cluttered and it's chaotic. And while I teach priority and sequence, I've been dealing with a busy, cluttered mind myself. And I wasn't sleeping as well as I could. I wasn't focused like I could be. And so while I'm helping people achieve their true potential, I needed somebody to help me achieve mine. And I wanted a quieter mind and a more focused, peaceful self. And I've known you forever and trust you undeniably that you're the real deal, and I wanted to be a part of what you're doing. And that was my motivation for kind of signing up.
Great. Well, thank you for sharing that. And what did you try in the past to stop that mind from being so cluttered and to have more focus?
Well, my mother bought me a book on meditation when I was in my late 20s and said, "Here, you need this." And all it taught me is that I suck at motivation or meditation, I mean. And so I tried meditation, and I truly do. I struggle with meditation. I don't do it well. Always have. Uh, I tried Qigong, and that works on some level to temporarily quiet my mind and help me focus. It doesn't stay. I do therapeutic massage every other week, partly because I've beat the dickens out of my body forever, and partly because it gets me in that state. What I'm looking for is a way to maintain that and a way to just live like that and not have it be an event, right? So that was what worked for me for over a decade. Uh, is being fully committed to a morning routine that starts with a gratitude prayer, and to not just list. It starts out kind of by listing what you're grateful for. Over time, you get this feeling of gratitude, and it's like a thing. It's a real thing that you feel, and it's like a little Teflon coating for the day, and the crap will still come your way. It just won't stick to you. And negativity can come, but it has to go away. It can't stay in your area. And so that worked. My son passed away tragically in 2019, and I didn't really know that I stopped doing my gratitude prayer for about 6 months. I didn't notice myself stopping. I thought I was just sad. And then I just I wasn't me anymore. And so I started doing the gratitude prayer again. And it was extremely powerful to remind me of who I am and why I am and what I need to be doing each day and find the energy and all of that. So that helps. And I still do that. It's just I couldn't maintain that all day. It's like I feel it, and then I go out and engage in the day, and whatever circumstances I may encounter throughout the day, they seem to guide whether or not I was calm or focused or stressed or whatever. And so I didn't want that. I wanted to be in full charge of all of that. So again, that's kind of why I sought you out.
And were you able to achieve that going through this academy?
Oh my, yes. I mean, I this academy, so I just told you what I had in mind. And if I could get that, that would be well worth the time invested and the money invested. Oh no, that was just like a sampling of what I got. This is kind of life-changing stuff. If not if, when you let this in and you let this work, it changes everything. Not like I'm still who I am, I'm still the root person. It's just that well, I'll tell you how this is different than anything I've ever done before. First of all, it's science-based. And I find that fascinating and intriguing, and I want to learn more, right? And I'm intrigued by neuroscience anyway, but this is more than that. And then what I love about this that I didn't know would be a residual benefit is the intentional redundancy of it. It's like we are held accountable to do this repetitive, to do these exercises. You do the work, you learn the concept, you rinse and repeat. You rinse and repeat. You just do it and do it and do it. And I guess it reinforces what cognitively maybe we knew. It just proves it. Mastery of anything comes an inch at a time, and you just keep doing it. And so 130 some odd days into this inner balance exercise, I'm kind of able to do it on command, even without being hooked up to the machine. And that's, I mean, I can tell you uh, what else about this program. It taps into my competitive nature because I want to keep doing better. So it kind of got me going and keeps me going. Uh, this program, I would say, is probably it's as powerful as you want it to be when you let it into your whole life. And so, uh, and it's energy based. And I've learned more during this last 3 months about the power of the energy and everything that's just out there for us that we share anyway. It's just when we do that intentionally and freely, it's just uplifting. That's I don't really have all the words that would adequately describe what this does. I don't think it matters how old you are when you can learn to do this. Um, it's powerful. That's all I can say. It's powerful, and crazy good things are starting to happen just all by themselves as a result of all of this.
Somebody might be listening to this right now and saying, well, energy, inner balance, what is that all about? And one of the principles that we teach is that energy attracts like energy. This is just the laws, the principles of energy. And
Right,
so we
right.
change our energy, even on the subconscious, different things are going to be attracted to us because our energy is different. So what I'm really hearing you say is that you're able to wake up in the morning, do your gratitude practice, hold that gratitude and that energy or that frequency throughout the entire day. If you shift out of it because something happens, you get a phone call that may be upsetting or something happens, you can visit being upset, but you don't stay there. You're able to come back into that sweet spot of the generous present moment and that peace so that all systems are go inside the body. Am I hearing that correct?
Yes, yes. And to expand on that, I would just say that life kind of happens all around us, and how we react to that has a lot to do. This we I guess emit an energy and we receive an energy. And without being aware of that, we just kind of bump around like we're in a pinball machine. And and being aware of that, and then being intentional with that. I mean, I could tell you a story about just how different the horses behave. We have horses, and the horses behave differently when I'm intentionally in coherence with them. They're curious. They want to be closer to me for a minute and just kind of see what's going on. Um, During this, I had to say goodbye to a dog that I've had for 13 years. And in the week or so leading up to that, it just little things like when you walk by him, you stop. No matter how big a hurry you're in, no matter what's going on in your life, you just stop and you hug him and you just breathe him in. And then you just expand that and say, I, I'm going to do this with my whole life and everybody in it. And it's not really slowing me down at all. I'm actually getting more done. When I walk out to the barn to feed the horses, the very first thing that happens is this little barn cat that used to be scared of everybody and wouldn't let people near her. She comes out and she wants to rub on my legs. And I might be in a hurry. I may have a tea time. I may have a client meeting. I stop and let her get a little love. Then I go in, feed the horses, and get on with it. I haven't missed a minute of anything. And I've added all of this really cool, slow your brain down, slow your roll, and soak in this amazing life you have. And then as a result of doing that, crazy things started to happen. Like I started thinking, I want to get this land in Colorado. But man, that's a big project. It's a lot of money. I don't know. And then we just did it. And then guess what? Two new clients call up and say, hey, I've been thinking about working with you again. Will you come help us? I said, sure. And then playing golf, I quit trying to mechanically do things and just enjoy the day and the friends and just the moment. And I get my first hole in one. And
Yay.
it's like you can't make this stuff up. It's just
It's flow. You've hit the flow
yeah.
state.
And I've always had an ultra critical mentality of myself. Like even if I got the account, I'm walking out saying what I could have done better in the sales call. And these types of things, they kind of help you get better in one way as life goes on. In other ways, they kind of don't give you any peace. And you don't celebrate victories like you could have. And so with that, what I didn't know, the sleeping gnome in there, is that you don't develop self-confidence along the way. Instead, you've got this ever-present self-doubt that, yeah, you've overcome it throughout your life and you've accomplished all these things, but wonder what it would have been like if you could have quieted that noise the whole time. And as a result of doing all of this, one of my goals was to have a peaceful confidence. And I couldn't even tell you when I wrote it down what exactly that looked like or felt like, but I can now.
Wow. Really beautiful journey you've had. And, one thing that you said earlier is you're now getting more done
I
and
am.
you have a peaceful confidence about you. So one of the things that a lot of people get from this is increased focus and increased productivity. I'd love to hear the amount of increased productivity that you think you've had going through this program. 30%, 40%, 80%. How much has your productivity increased?
So I would say with when the mind is calm and the focus is there, triple. I'm able to get triple done. It's just that, like I said before, priority and sequence, I have a I understand that mechanically. I have a really good cognitive awareness of you can't do everything at once. It's one thing at a time, and you have to prioritize. And I know about all that, but it's happening in me now, kind of just sensically. I'm just sensing it and just doing it, and I'm flowing from one right thing into the next right thing, and I'm sure it's all vision based. It's all like, this is the vision. I can see it so clearly now that it's like it already happened. And so the things I'm doing now is just part of getting there. And so then all the things that become opportunities to make that happen, they were there the whole time. It's just now you see them really easily. And then the things that are in the way of that, which might be habits, it might be things that I instinctively do because I've always done it. You just suddenly don't really see a need to do that anymore. And so you might not do it anymore. And one of my goals was to be healthy. And I hate to say it, but the older I get, the more important that becomes. It probably should have been important earlier in my life. But so I wanted to weigh a certain weight by a certain day. I set 90-day goals is kind of how I do mine, which interestingly aligned with the length of this program. And I achieved all of those 90-day goals in about 45 days. I mean, just including the weight goal. And I didn't go on a crash diet. I just ate differently because I saw myself at a certain weight. And but that's just one thing. I mean, there were business goals, there were personal goals. I had a goal to shoot a certain score on a golf course. And that's a big deal for me because I'm coming back from a surgery where they said maybe you shouldn't be playing golf. And so I said, well, and maybe you shouldn't be my doctor. And because I'm going to play golf. I found a surgeon that is a golfer. And so he figured it out. And everything's just right. And I guess the short talk on it is, if we expect things to go right and be right, and we're doing the right things, and I believe that helping lift other people lifts us too, then if all of that's happening, it's a term I use, the term just right, all the time. And that's what's just right to me. And so I'm in a state of just right, and owe a huge debt of gratitude to this program and you for guiding me through it, because I don't know how you can be just right if you're not in coherence.
It's that internal flow state. It's that internal peace that you feel,
Yeah.
and you can carry it through the day. The beautiful thing is, now that you have the science behind it and the ability to do it, you can do it anytime, anywhere, and always come back into that flow state. Really beautiful, beautiful testimonial. Thank you for sharing. And somebody might be listening to this right now saying, well, I'm a busy executive or a busy leader, and how long did it take him every day to practice this? Because you said you've been doing it for 136 days straight. Give me an idea of how many minutes you put in per day just to get these amazing results. Was it a lot of time? Was it a little bit of time? Was it concentrated effort?
So I play with it. So some days it's a lot of time. It's just I do it when I'm doing other things. Every day, though, I start my day with my first cup of coffee, my gratitude prayer, and my inner balance session. And the inner balance session is a 10-minute session for me. You could do it for less if you want. I have a target in mind. And so I want to do 10 minutes. I got a little thing that dings when it's 10 minutes. And sometimes my mind is saying, stop this. You got to get over here and get busy. Okay, that's reality. It's just that's not the desired reality. I want to be able, if I can't, in my world, if I can't give 10 minutes in the morning to my own health and coherence that I want to carry throughout the day, what the heck? I mean, and I don't care how busy I would be as an executive. Busy executives, I coach them. I coach well-known executives. The busiest ones are not always the best ones. Sometimes they're swimming in a sea of their own stuff and they need a lifeboat.
So 10 minutes a day. That's what
10
you
minutes a day is my target. I love it when I do 30 minutes a day. Sometimes I plug back in, and then while I'm doing my email, while I'm doing my other stuff, I forget that I'm connected.
Yeah.
But I can go back and check and see how I flowed in and out of coherence while I was doing my stuff. And then it reminds me to breathe. It reminds me to keep my thoughts a certain way. This is a whole blend of kind of metaphysical stuff and then self-talk and psychological stuff. It's all kind of a recipe. And I think each person has their own. And this is a way to measure it while you're getting it right.
It's a way to measure it while you're getting it right. And then when you figure it out and you find that little sweet spot, you just stay there and you practice it over and over and over again. You've had such a beautiful journey. Thank you for sharing your journey with us. And if you had a friend that said, okay, tell me just in 1 or 2 sentences, what is this? How would you describe it to a friend?
You know, it's interesting you ask. I've actually had people being curious because they've noticed the change. And I just tell them that I use the word coherence. I also say this is something that Navy SEALs and elite athletes and high performers who require a high level of focus do this. And they get mastery of this, and that helps them stay in coherence when crazy things are happening around them. That's how I explain it. It's like I just wanted a taste of it, and now I can't get enough of it.
And the great thing is you'll have this the rest of your life. So you can just keep practicing and keep flowing through life and keeping life just right.
Yeah, I would recommend this to anybody. And I have. I mean, I recommend it all the time. And I don't recommend it for people who aren't willing to make a space in their life to insert it. This is not something you don't paint the fence before you sand the boards. The paint won't stick.
Right.
So if you're not going all in and just going to learn it for 90 days, then don't do it.
Well said. Well said. You have to do the work to get the results. Otherwise, you're not going to get the results.
Yeah, it's
Did.
just it's amazing, and I'm so grateful that I did it.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your journey. You achieved just about every single, I think every single goal that we wrote down. You achieved all of it and then some. You've been
Way
asked.
more than that. Yeah, yeah. It was
Thank.
a big surprise to me how powerful this would be.
Wow. Well, you showed up dedicated, committed, and coachable, and you got the results. So congratulations. Thank you for being part of this beautiful journey.
Grateful for you, Julie. Thank you.
Thank you.